All right. Ready to dig into something kind of unexpected?
Always up for it. What are we diving into today?
Shoes! But not the kind you see on a runway. We're talking factory floors, machines, the whole works.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Behind the scenes stuff.
Exactly. Specifically, lasting machine operators. Ever thought about what goes into giving a shoe its shape?
Honestly, not really. I lace them up, I'm out the door.
That's most of us. But RoleCatcher, they've got this in-depth career guide total eye-opener. Apparently, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Like what? Give me the Spark Notes version.
Think like industrial strength sculpting. You've got these operators using heavy-duty machinery to mold the shoe around a last, which is basically a foot-shaped mold.
So that's where the name comes from. Lasting machine operator?
Yeah. Right. And the guide breaks down each step, the materials, the techniques, even potential hazards.
Hazards. With shoemaking. Now, that's not something you hear every day.
I know, right? It made me think twice about my own shoe collection. They mention things like strong adhesives, solvents, even the risk of dust inhalation.
Wow. So there's a whole other side to this industry that we never really see.
Absolutely. And the machines they use are no joke. We're talking toe-lasting presses, heel tackers, the whole shebang.
Sounds intense.
It is. RoleCatcher actually uses the phrase sculpting with steel at one point.
Okay, now that's pretty badass. So they're dealing with these powerful machines, potentially dangerous materials. What kind of person thrives in this environment?
That's what I was wondering. What does it take to be a lasting machine operator?
Well, according to RoleCatcher, attention to detail is huge. Apparently, these operators are responsible for making sure every single shoe meets exact specifications.
Wow, so we're talking about people with eagle eyes and steady hands.
Exactly. And they have to be able to work quickly and efficiently, too, especially in those large factories. Think about how many shoes they must churn out every day.
It's mind-boggling. It's making me appreciate my own shoes on a whole other level. But let's break it down. What does a lasting machine operator actually do all day? I mean, step by step.
All right, so picture this. You've got the upper part of the shoe, that's the part that covers your foot, and you need to stretch it perfectly over that foot-shaped mold we talked about.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Sounds tricky.
It is. It takes a lot of skill to get that tension just right, make sure the material aligned perfectly, the toe is positioned correctly.
So it's not just about operating a machine. There's a real art to it.
Exactly. The guide even mentions that experienced operators can practically feel the material, knowing exactly how much pressure to apply for a perfect fit.
Wow, so it's like a blend of technical skill and, I don't know, intuition, craftsmanship.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not just stretching. They use all sorts of techniques to secure the shoe's final shape things, like cementing and stitching.
So the type of shoe probably determines what techniques they use, like athletic shoes versus dress shoes.
You got it. For instance, cementing is big for athletic shoes, creates a flexible bond, perfect for all that movement.
Makes sense. You wouldn't want your shoe falling apart mid-marathon.
Exactly. And then for dressier shoes, you're more likely to see stitching. Creates a stronger bond, lasts longer, and just looks more, handcrafted.
So there are nuances to it depending on the type of shoe, the material.
Oh yeah, it's way more complex than most people realize. And the work environment itself, it's a whole other ball game. Picture a bustling factory floor, machines humming, the air thick with the smell of leather and glue.
Definitely not your typical office setting.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? RoleCatcher says it can get really loud in there, especially with those lasting machines going full blast.
I bet. They probably have to wear ear protection all day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Safety first. But, even with the noise and the potential hazards, there's something about this job that just fascinates me.
Me too. It's like we're getting a glimpse into this whole other world, this hidden world of craftsmanship and precision.
Right, like we're peeling back the layers of something we take for granted every single day.
Speaking of peeling back the layers, we've talked about the environment, the tools, the basic process. But what about the people? What does it take to be successful in this kind of role?
Well, we've touched on a few things. Attention to detail, dexterity, the ability to work quickly and accurately.
Right, but what about the less tangible stuff? The personality traits, the soft skills?
You're talking about the it factor.
Yeah.
Well, RoleCatcher dives into that too. They say patience is a virtue, and in this line of work, I think it's got to be a requirement.
Makes sense. Dealing with those precise details, the machines, you can't rush perfection, right?
Exactly. And it's not just about being patient with the process. RoleCatcher also talks about the importance of problem-solving skills. Machines jam, materials have flaws, you've got to be adaptable.
Oh, I bet. Thinking on your feet is probably a common occurrence in that environment.
Right. And you can't let those hiccups throw you off. They emphasize a strong work ethic, being a team player, and maintaining a positive attitude, even when things get tough.
It's like they're building more than just shoes in there. It's like they're building
That's
resilience.
transferable skills. Think about it. Problem solving, attention to detail, working under pressure. Those are valuable in any industry.
That's so true. So someone listening might be thinking, okay, this is cool and all, but where can this job actually take me?
And RoleCatcher doesn't disappoint there. They've got this whole career progression mapped out from entry level all the way up to, get this, supervisory roles.
Ooh, from the factory floor to the manager's office? Tell me more.
So you start as an entry-level operator. They usually go through a training period, shadowing experienced workers, learning the ropes, getting comfortable with the equipment.
Like an apprenticeship.
Exactly. And as they gain experience, they can specialize in different areas, like working with specific materials or mastering a particular type of machine.
So you could become like the leather whisperer or something. I love it.
Right. And with that expertise comes more responsibility. They might train new hires, troubleshoot machine issues, even suggest improvements to the whole production process.
Okay, so they're moving up in the ranks, but what about those who are looking for like leadership positions? Does it stop at being a specialized operator?
Not at all. That's where those supervisory roles come in. Think of it like this. You've got a whole team of lasting machine operators, each with their own station and tasks, and the supervisor is responsible for making sure everything runs smoothly. They set production targets, manage workflows, make sure everyone's following safety protocols. It's a lot of responsibility.
Sounds like they need those problem solving and communication skills we were just talking about.
Big time. And they need to have a deep understanding of every single stage of the lasting process. They've gone from mastering a specific skill to overseeing the entire operation.
Now, that's what I call a career trajectory. But you mentioned earlier that RoleCatcher highlights some less traditional job titles within this field, too.
Oh, yeah, they do. Like
Yeah?
hand-lasting operator, for example.
And lasting operator. That
Yeah.
sounds so artisanal. What is that?
It's exactly what it sounds like. While most large-scale shoe production relies on those big, powerful machines, there's still a demand for handcrafted footwear, especially for high-end or custom shoes.
So it's like the difference between a mass-produced item and something that's custom made?
Right. A hand-lasting operator will be using traditional tools and techniques, carefully shaping the shoe upper over the last by hand. They often work with super delicate materials, stuff that needs a lighter touch than a machine can give.
Wow, that takes serious skill and precision. It's like they're preserving a dying art form.
In a way, they are. And the guide mentions that these hand-lasting operators, they often have an incredible understanding of different leather types, stitching techniques. They're like the master craftspeople of the shoemaking world.
It's amazing how even in a field that's becoming increasingly automated, there's still a place for that human touch, that level of craftsmanship.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the technical skills either. RoleCatcher also talks about the personal qualities that are important for success in this role.
Okay, so let's talk personality. What are we looking for in a lasting machine operator, or any kind of shoemaker for that matter?
They highlight things like patience, attention to detail, which, duh, right? Those are key for any kind of precision work.
Absolutely. Can't be rushing through things when you're dealing with like delicate stitching or those powerful machines.
Exactly. And then there's the whole adaptability thing. Machines break down, materials have flaws, deadlines change. You got to be able to roll with the punches.
Resourcefulness, quick thinking, problem solving on the fly. Sounds like those skills would come in handy in any job, honestly.
Totally. And then there's the teamwork aspect. Even though a lot of the work might seem solitary, you're still part of a bigger team working towards a common goal.
Right. So being able to communicate effectively, share ideas, give and receive feedback, all that good stuff.
Exactly. And last but not least, they emphasize the importance of a strong work ethic and a positive attitude. Factory work can be demanding, you know? It
Yeah.
takes dedication and a good outlook to thrive in that environment.
It's like those qualities we were talking about earlier, the patience, the problem solving, the teamwork, they all come together to create a well-rounded, resilient individual. It's pretty cool, actually.
It is. And you know what else is cool? RoleCatcher doesn't just drop all this information on you and leave you hanging. They actually provide tools to help you land a job in this field.
Right. We briefly touched on their interview prep section earlier. 120,000 practice questions. Are you kidding me? But then there's that skills analysis feature for resumes. That thing's a game changer.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Most resume builders, they're all about formatting, right? Choosing a template, making it look pretty.
Yeah, like they never really capture the essence of your experience.
Exactly. But RoleCatcher, Their AI digs deeper. It scans your resume, pulls out those keywords and skills, and then get this, you can input the actual job description you're applying for.
Wait, so it's like having a personal resume writer who tailors your skills to that specific job.
Exactly. It highlights your most relevant experience, spots any potential gaps, even suggests different ways to phrase things to make a bigger impact.
Okay, that's seriously impressive. So someone with lasting machine operator experience could use this tool to apply for, say, a quality control role in a completely different industry, and it would highlight those transferable skills.
Bingo. The AI would pick up on their attention to detail, their experience with inspection, and boom, they're suddenly a top contender, even if their previous job title wasn't a perfect match.
That's amazing. It's like they've taken the guesswork out of job searching. But beyond the practical tools, what I find so valuable is how RoleCatcher encourages people to, like, really think about their career paths. That whole career compass feature is such a cool concept.
It's like having a roadmap for your professional journey. You can explore different industries, compare salary ranges, see how your skills might translate into unexpected roles.
Yeah.
It's eye-opening.
So even if someone's not considering a career in footwear, although, let's be real, who wouldn't want to be the leather whisperer, they might still find inspiration to, like, reevaluate their own skills and see where those skills could take them.
Absolutely. It's all about empowerment, exploration, and realizing that a career path isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's got some interesting curves and detours.
Well said. And speaking of interesting journeys, we've definitely had one today. We started with this seemingly simple object, a shoe, and ended up exploring everything from industrial machinery to the future of work.
That's the beauty of these deep dives, right? You never know where curiosity will lead you.
So true. For our listeners who are now fascinated by the world of lasting machine operators, or maybe they just want to check out RoleCatcher's awesome tools, we'll have all the links in the show notes.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think it's time for us to step out of the factory and, well, see what other hidden worlds we can uncover.
Always up for an adventure. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those shoes stylish.